Happy Sunday, everybody. This is David Arroyo, and I am back this time to talk about a drawing that I did called The Corner of Time. And it basically discusses the journey that I went through when choosing a topic for my comic or webcomic that I've just recently revealed called Immersion. Obviously, it ended up being a sci-fi, as you've already noticed. But the journey towards this decision was actually a very long one. There were a lot of factors that I had to take into account before I could actually really settle on a theme. Sorry, I got a bit of a cold today, so you're gonna have to bear with my deformed voice. Anyways, let's get back to this. So, the journey towards reaching a theme or a topic to discuss within my comic, as I said, it was very long. So, why was it so long? Well, it had a lot to do with the fact that I really, really love two things more than anything else. And that's the world of fantasy stories and the world of sci fi. These two things, so anything to do with science fiction, like Star Wars, like Inception is a bit of science fiction in a way. Elysium, all these movies, these great movies that inspired me to think about things that might happen in the future, or things that, just basically make us dream of a different tomorrow. So these things definitely are my selling points for sci-fi. And then on the other side, you've got the fantasy aspect. So that is more a place where I get to escape the current realities that we're in and dream about a completely different world in a different time with different technologies. Doesn't necessarily mean because it's in a fantasy setting that you won't have certain technologies there that we might have today. It would just be presented in a different way. I mean, Final Fantasy does this very well. For example, they have magic, and they have in a lot of their games they have steam technology and these airships and all these very fun things. So fantasy also was a big factor, and I was thinking about this for such a long time, thinking about, okay, what do I want to do? Do I want to tell a story, this epic story about, love and power struggles and tragedy and journeys and adventures? Or do I want to tell more a story about specific topics that make people think about the future, about their place in humanity? It was a lot of thinking, and I've been reading a lot of books during these months, years actually, because to be honest with you, a lot of the process, these processes of working my way up to finally revealing my webcomic, they all started with a whole bunch of reading, a whole bunch of viewing videos on TED.com or YouTube or all of these things. And it's been a long process, but an unbelievably rewarding one, if I have to say so. I really enjoyed all of it. But so at the end of the day, after all the research, after having seen everything, and thinking about it, I chose sci-fi, despite the fact that it was a very difficult choice. Oh, and not to forget, there was even a moment where I was thinking to do a comedy piece as well. And I'm not going to go too much into that because, see, everything I've done, despite the fact that I've chose for sci-fi, all that work during these years, and I'm talking, I started all of this in 2010. My elevator pitch for Immersion was written in 2010. I'm not kidding. This is a real true story. So a lot of this goes back a long, long time. And all that work is not thrown away. All these projects that I've been writing and drawing and all these things, they're still there. So they might be revealed in the future. We'll see how that goes. But anyways, that's a story for another time. This is all the time we've got left. I thank you very much for coming around here, having a look at this video, and we'll see each other soon again. Thank you very much. Bye bye.